Welcome back. We're here to preview Saturday evening's Premier League match between Arsenal and Newcastle United at the Emirates. Pascal, starting with the home side, really disappointing result last time out.
It was, yeah, losing 3-2 at Stoke. Obviously, in the past, Stoke, they tend to be good at the Britannia, but, they never used to score. They score 3 goals very rarely, Stoke, and to fall 3-0 behind as well. That's so disappointing because they came into that game, they've won 3 games in a row, but, to fall 3-0 behind like that, they almost came back, 2 quick goals, but it wasn't enough in the end, and they need to get back to winning ways because they're 6th in the table now and they need to start climbing up towards that top 4.
I mean, Premier League last time was disappointing, but they did win in the Champions League. It was a good result as well. Galatasaray, we all know they're not a great side, that's putting it kindly, but to win 4-1 away from home in Turkey, it was sort of a shadow side as well, wasn't it? There was a lot of, obviously there was first team players, Debuchy coming back, etc., but there was other players in the team like Podolski, scored a couple, Podolski always seems to do well, doesn't he, in certain games, but he never gets picked for the Premier League game, which is strange as well. I think the main point in that game though was the Ramsey. I mean, his goal was incredible, wasn't it? You could watch it a million times and it gets better every single time. But aside from his goal, I think his overall performance was good as well, and to get back to the form that he showed last season and the beginning of this season, obviously he got injured last season for a long spell, but he needs to be that sort of player, doesn't he, with Wilshere injured and other players. Danny Welbeck's never going to score a lot of goals. Giroud, has his injury problems as well, so Ramsey is the main positive, I think, to take from that Champions League.
Definitely, and they come up against a Newcastle team here, who are really flying. And Newcastle look to take advantage of Arsenal at the backs. Obviously, Callum Chambers got sent off, didn't he? So, and if Debuchy's back, that sort of makes up for it. But Newcastle were absolutely flying. They beat Chelsea 2-1 last time out, and first time that Chelsea have lost this season. What a display from Newcastle, because it's hard to say that they completely deserve the win, but it's not like Chelsea. It's not like they snatched it at all. Papi Cisse come off the bench, scored both goals, and it wasn't, Chelsea, they had their chances, but Newcastle did really well to, largely restrict Chelsea to shots from distance. They defended really well in that game. And, to be the first team to beat Chelsea, that's such a big achievement for them. And 7th in the table, just a place behind Arsenal. They'll really fancy getting another big scalp here, I think.
I mean, while that wasn't overly, such a positive day for them, wasn't it, against Chelsea, there obviously comes with a little bit of disappointment with the suspensions they picked up. Stephen Taylor obviously got himself sent off. Wasn't in the team at the beginning of the season, was it? It was Williams and Colaccini, but since Stephen Taylor's come back, they've looked a lot more solid. But the main one for me, Sissoko picked up that booking, didn't he, that rules him out, and I think he's been Newcastle's best player by some distance this season. I think he's been one of the best central midfielders in the league. He came in for not big money, did he, when he come to Newcastle? He did well, then he struggled, but this season has been really strong, and I think to miss at Arsenal is it's a big blow for Newcastle and a big thing for Arsenal.
Another blow for them, of course, is the goalkeeper situation. Obviously, Tim Krul, he's out until January, and Rob Elliott started against Chelsea, but had to come off, didn't he, at half time. And Jack Alnwick, the third choice keeper's come in, and he actually looked really good in that game. Chelsea, they put in some dangerous crosses in towards him, but he did 2 really good punches. And even though he impressed in that game, he's got to do it again here because he is the third choice keeper. And Arsenal, they often get a lot of shots. They're a good footballing side. They probably won't test him in the air as much as Chelsea did, but it's just such a big game going to the Emirates for him. If you told him 2 weeks ago, before Tim Krul got injured, that next month you'll be starting, you'll be playing against Chelsea and Arsenal, he would have been like, well, what's going on? And this is if he can impress again, then that'd be huge for them because even though he impressed against Chelsea, he is only third choice and needs to do it again here.
Big day for him, big day for Newcastle. Can you see him getting anything from the match?
Well, it's a tough one. They are in better form, but they've lost 5 games in a row against Arsenal in all competitions. So it's a tough game for them. But I've got a sneaky feeling they might get a point out of this because Arsenal, they have those performances at home, don't they? Where they go into a game as favourites, but they never quite deliver. And I think Newcastle might get a point out of this. I'm going to go 2-2.
2-2. I think I'm going to agree as well. It's Arsenal like that, and the fans tend to get a bit on their back as well, which is difficult. I could quite easily see it being a draw, but I think Arsenal will just nick it 2-1. So I'm going to back them. So we've got 1 win for Arsenal and a 2-2 draw. Thanks for joining us.